Boom. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Good evening. Welcome to episode 210 of Wise Advice. Always good to be here, checking in with you, see how you're doing. Let's get this pulled up here. So, cool. Let me get situated over here. So, cool. Instagram's checking in first. Always cool to see that. Facebook coming in nicely second. It's my journey. Good evening to you. Dina's here. Woo! Susan checking in from California first over on Facebook. Good evening to you. Karen not far behind. Always good to see you. Corey checking in from Connecticut. California. Rosie's here. Benyon's here. It's a full house already. Karen, good evening from Long Island. Very nice. Alicia, I'm back. That's a good sign, right? Very fun when you come back. Let's see. Jan, I got you. Shannon is here. Good evening. Cheryl from Virginia. Mary from California. Massachusetts checking in on Instagram. Good evening to you. Monica says hello or hey. Michelle's here. Lexington, Kentucky. Cheryl checks in. Idaho. Betty checks in over on YouTube. New Hampshire's checking in. Woo! I tell you, this is a little bit confusing. Jacob's checking in. Love you, my man. You know the deal. Big heart, big love to you. Just wanted to share that with you. Denise, good evening to you. Jennifer, ATX in the house. What is ATX? Jennifer from ATX. From just, I think the A is a typo, right? Jennifer checking in from or is that Austin? Yeah, I gotcha. I'm with you. Takes me a second. Checking in. Chicago, Rob Ann checking in. Very cool. Denise here. So Jennifer, I would have just said Austin because I think maybe I'm sure there's another Austin somewhere, but there is no other Austin. Dina says, say hello to my grandson Thomas. He's listening with me. Hey Thomas, how are you? Thanks for watching. Very cool. Get your water ready because we're gonna have water in a little bit. So go get a cup of water. Very fun. Very fun. So I got you, Denise. Let's see, Roxanne from Newfoundland. That means we've officially gone international. Doesn't take long to do that around here. Colette from Long Island's checking in. Very nice. Carissa says, time to get back at it. So glad to see you. Well, there's no time like the present, right? Let's do it. Lee, good evening to you, sir. Warner Robbins checking in from Lori. Pam checking in from Colorado Springs. Whoop, whoop. Very fun. I love Colorado Springs. Country Cleveland in the house. He's almost 5. He has his water ready. Cool. That's awesome. Susan says, because you had heads up. Yeah, so and I even a more heads up, based on my schedule, we'll do a show tomorrow night. I have a Weight Watcher meeting, at 7. Sorry, that'll be over by 7. Woo. Well, this could be interesting. Yeah, so I have a meeting tomorrow night, and then we'll do a show positively tomorrow night. It's already printed. It's behind me. All I have to do is just record it tomorrow night. So Friday night I can't. I got plans Friday night. Friday night got plans. Whoop, whoop. And then, so Thursday night we'll do a show. So you'll have a good heads up for tomorrow as well. There will be a show. If you're following along on Twitter, the Wise Advice account on Twitter is the one that lets you know exactly when we're going live, gives you a 15-minute reminder, and then it gives you an on-time tweet saying, boom, Wise Advice is live. So we'll see you tomorrow night for sure. Louise from Bedford, Ohio, checking in. Heather from Ontario, good evening to you. West Hartford, Christy's checking in. Let's see. Gotcha. Chris says, I'm going to lift and weight train during the show. Have a great show. Cool. Way to go, Chris. Good work. Let's see. Lee says, okay, you are permitted to begin. I'm here. Got it. Westerville, Ohio, checking in. Good evening to you. Lindsay's here. Whoop, whoop. Carissa, good evening to you. Let's see. Mary says hello. Lee says Austin. Yeah, I know. I figured it out. It took me a second. I'm not that smart. I used to live in San Antonio, so I should have gotten it. I guess I never knew we referred to it as ATX. I was thinking like fraternity and Greek symbols. I was thinking like Alpha Theta Chi or something like that. Is what I was thinking. I was like, when did you join a sorority? So anyway, so that's okay. ATX. Alpha Theta Chi or Alpha Theta Xi, right? Yeah, Alpha Theta Xi is ATX. So that's Greek. Sorry for those of you who don't speak Greek. Cool. Ellen, finally checking in from Miami. Good evening to you. Monica's over here from Pennsylvania. You know, we're coming to Pennsylvania in 10 days. 10 days we'll be in Pennsylvania. West Virginia says hello. Drama. Is it Drama or Dreama? I'm going to go with Drama. Texas, Cheryl's checking in. Texas is a big state. Vero Beach, Terry's checking in. Good evening to you. Kentucky, Donna Reed checks in. Ellen says, missed you very much. I've been here the whole time. Well, I mean, I've been here. That part's true. I haven't turned the computer on in a little while, but that's okay. Getting it done now. Lindsay checking in from Noblesville. Whoop, whoop. Missed you last night. Just saying. Colette is saying hello to Karen. Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Anna Marie, good evening to you. Cincy, Brenda's in the house. Robin from Atlanta. And let's see. Kathleen checking in from Maryland as they get ready for bed. Looking forward to hearing it tomorrow on your way to work. Yep, it'll be there. By the time you listen in the morning, it'll be live or in the app. Hopefully you have the app, right? It's the best way. Amy says Wisconsin checking in just for a few minutes. Nicole says hello. Hello. Elaine from Florida, good evening to you. Marsha's over here now. Cheryl's like, this is the romper room waiting for the host to say hi. Hello. LOL, I see you. Hi, Cheryl. We see you. Cheryl, we see Cheryl on all of them. Well, I do. Very cool. Welcome, Cheryl. You know, I think it's important to say hi because usually the first 10 or 15 minutes, I really just want to say hi to you, and just kind of. I wish it was two-way. It'd be way more fun. You guys can type, but it'd be cool if we could talk back and forth and do like a Skype show or something. I don't know how to do that, but it would be kind of fun. So, Diane says good evening. Hello. Very cool. Very cool. The heat has gotten to Jennifer over in ATX. Emma's checking in from Houston. Pam's waving over on YouTube. Determined Jessica checking in. So good to see you as well. It's good to see anyone who decides to check in. I think it's kind of cool. If you decide to check in, it means you're mentally checked in, and that's kind of the game here. It's all you're doing. Liz says happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday. I'm a little bit lost because I had Mondag off. So I'm taking Mondags off. So I'm a little bit confused on days of the week, but I think it's Wednesday. That's what Robin says. I believe her. Kim, good evening to you. How are you? Kim was from episode, I forget. Not too long ago. 190s, somewhere in there. Kim, good evening to you. Diane is saying hello to Heather. Noblesville, Carolyn. Ooh, another Carolyn and Lindsay, both from Noblesville. Very cool. Let's see. Nashville, Robin's checking in. Philadelphia, Heather's checking in. We're going to be shortly. I don't even know where we're going to be in Philadelphia. We asked this before. I did last night. I forget. We'll be in Philly in 10 days. I call it Philadelphia. I'm sure if you live there, it's nowhere near Philadelphia, but you get the deal. Cool. Kathleen does have the app. Good work. Pick a podcast and autoplay it. Very nice. Very nice. Lori said somehow hurt your foot last night, probably on the calf machine. Urgent care. Ugh, that's no fun. Well, heal up. Put some ice on it, right? That's the way to do that. Yeah, Cheryl says, wow, a lot of Cheryls tonight. There are a lot of Cheryls. It's good, though. Danielle is, she's confirming that being mentally checked in is where it's at. If this comes on and your brain goes, I want to watch, whether you're paying attention or not, it's the fact that you said, I want to watch for a second is the coolest thing, because it's like, yeah, I want to do this. I'm checked in mentally. So very nice. Tara's here. Good evening to you. Let's see. Pamela says go back from camping for 3 days. I don't know what date it is either. Yeah, I got it. Let's see. Laura said, I have no time for injuries. I get it. None of us do. Boom. Lee says, great pun. Heal your foot. Very cool. All right. Let's do that. Let's get to episode 210. I think that's where we're at. That's what the show says here. 210 is here, 211 is behind me, so we'll do a show tomorrow night as well. I've already updated the calendar. Twitter will remind you tomorrow 15 minutes before. I think I said tomorrow night was going to be closer to 10, strictly because I have my Weight Watcher meeting first. I want to make sure I get that done, get home in time to get this thing done. So Gloria says 210, yay. Determined Jessica says, I've already started in on the water. I am not a master drinker like me. I got mine right here. Right here. Little water going. So, all right, let's get a sound check in. Let's do that first. While I'm doing the sound check, you get your water ready. Dina, you ready? Forget the little guy's name. Alrighty, it takes me a second. So remind me his name and we'll do water together. We'll do a little cheers, I guess, so to speak. Michelle says later is better on the West Coast. No, I agree. Pam says thanks for the calendar. Yeah, so I keep FatDag updated, fatdag.com, Thomas. I keep fatdag.com updated with the calendar as it auto tweets it out. So that's the best I can do is to get that squared away. So, all right, let's do a sound check. That sounds good in my head. Let's see if the computer hears it well. Check, check, check. Mic check, testing, 1, 2. Look at that. Woo! Looks great. I tell you, one of the cool things about having my Mondays off, Mondags off, is that I was able to, like I said, get 3 shows ready on Mondag. And the cool thing about that is tonight, it was actually kind of weird. Usually when I do a show live, right, like this, you know, just 2 seconds before I'm going live, I'm running around this house scrambling, trying to get everything ready. Tonight it was like 9 o'clock, and I'm like, I wonder if I should go live at 9. But I told you guys 9:30, so we waited a little bit. But anyway, so Rob Ann says, no more water for me. The 50 Club, it's time for bed. Yeah, this much water. It occasionally does. I occasionally get up in the middle of the night because of you guys. So let's do this. Water, Thomas, my friend, drink up. Those of you on Facebook, YouTube, cheers. Are you ready for this? Jan says, I looked at IKEA, but you couldn't. Come on, IKEA has them everywhere. They're like a couple bucks. Salud. Dan checking it from Winnipeg. Sure. So this is nothing special. This is IKEA. Really, I know it's. They have this one and they have one that's like a little bit bigger, but it's IKEA. It is. I honestly wouldn't mind getting some of them and mailing them to you. But the problem is by the time I buy them, buy a box, pack it, ship it, and make sure it doesn't get broken to you, you're going to end up paying, $30 for a $2 water bottle by the time we pack it and ship it. So that's not, you got to go to your own IKEA. I mean, if you're dying to pay $30 for one, email me separate. And next time I'm at IKEA, I'll get one and we'll find a box and I'll wrap it nice and neat. And if it's less than $30, it is. But I don't really want to get in the habit of shipping water bottles. I just know that they're only like $1 or so, and so I don't want to go. If I could ship it to you easily, I would. That's the problem. But yeah, so I know, Ellen, and because I got to buy a box, I got to make sure it's it cost me probably $10 to $12 just to ship it, and it only cost $1 to buy it. So anyway. Thomas, are you ready? You ready for this show? Thomas is joining us on Instagram for the first time. Hopefully he's done with his water, and looks like you guys are. Alicia says he hates IKEA. Sorry, IKEA. If you're listening, sorry. It's like I saw this on Twitter. IKEA is like the escape room. You know, like once you get in, it's like a game to find the exit. And you have to walk through this maze of kitchen contraptions that's just absolutely crazy. It's nuts. So Jan's asking, I bought it in the store. There's an IKEA about, I don't know, 10 miles from here. It just opened up. So I bought it right at IKEA. So, well, Thomas is watching Scooby-Doo now. I'm so disappointed. I've lost out to Scooby-Doo. I cannot believe that. Cannot even believe that Scooby-Doo takes priority over this. But, man. Yeah. Determined Jessica says it's impossible to get out even with a map. I agree. Amy says Tisha's a teacher in Dayton, Ohio, and you love IKEA. My wife upstairs, she loves IKEA as well. My daughter loves IKEA. I think for our 24th anniversary, I could just take her to IKEA and we can go eat in the food court and celebrate our anniversary and spend all day there, and she would love me. That's kind of how it is, but. Yeah, Sarah says at least the water bottle does not have to be assembled. Good point. Very, very, very fun. I missed something on YouTube, but I see. Cheryl says I still want the water bottle. So yeah, got it. Cool. All right. I don't know that IKEA. I like Target. IKEA is the devil, sure. But yeah, a Target. And we have a Target. I can almost, if I lean over, I can actually probably see Target from here. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I find it right in the store. Like I said, truly, I mean, let's not be crazy. I'm not going to put this on the podcast. It's just for you guys listening. If you email in mike@fatdag.com and you truly want one of them, next time I'm there, I'll get it. But you have to just understand if it costs me $30 to ship the dang thing to you, that's what you're gonna have to pay to get it shipped to you. I just don't, I don't want to go through that hassle. But if you really, really want one and you can't find one at your local IKEA, email me. We'll figure it out. Anyway, that's the deal there. Let's see. Quick question, then we're going to get out of here. Amy says, what grade does your wife teach? Kindergarten. She bounces between kindergarten and first. This year she's in kindergarten again. So the little guys, it's so much fun. So much fun. All right. Cool. Lori says, I found the bottles. Type in glass bottle in the search. They're the first thing in the search. Let's see. I want to read the rest of the comment. The brand is Corkin. It's $1.99. And Jen, can I bring it to the Indie Ultimate? Maybe. Yes, maybe. If you're coming to the Indie Ultimate, I could probably go buy a case of them and bring them there. So here's the bottle again. I put this on it. It's just a standard water bottle like this. Way more information than we need about a water bottle. All right, let's do this. Gary says, hi, go to bed. Hi, Gary. Bye, Gary. Robin says, you missed it. Ellen says, anyone pointed the food at IKEA? So, all right, no, here we go. Man, we're late today. Cheryl says, I've never been to IKEA, not near me. Yeah. IKEA, I like IKEA as long as you don't go inside. So, I have water on my desk. All right, let's do this. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Ellen, I know. You guys know how to, it doesn't take much to get me distracted. But certainly that did it. Linda's checking in. Alicia's here. May says it's a time trap. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. Hey, my weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, please stop eating points. Just be nice to yourself and stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 210 of Wise Advice. Man, I had a great morning this morning. Woke up this morning, had an interview with my good buddy Adam, who's on Instagram at Million Pound Mission. Him and I, and we go through this banter back and forth. I tell you, there's a handful of people on this journey that just truly, for whatever reason, I've just connected with differently than so many other people. Adam is one of them. The dude is amazing. So we spent about an hour this morning on a Skype call going back and forth. And when that episode comes out, I'll let you know. It unfortunately isn't weight loss related. It's more podcast related. But we always had that conversation at the end about how to take care of yourself as well. And I think he's going to show up on a Mundag here with the pink sled and make me push around the parking lot. But started the day out there. 10 days till we're in Philadelphia. The international tour rolls on. We will be in Philly in 10 days. If you haven't already, go to fatdag.com, click on the international tour link. You can certainly sign up through my website, get all of the details about that race, sign up for the race separately as well. You can either join us for the race, you can just kind of hang out, whatever it is you want to do. But that's coming up August 18th. And then we're going to be September 9th. We'll be at the Indy Ultimate. And then October, we'll be in Washington, D.C. We'll end the international tour out in November, out in San Francisco. So, man, don't miss this. It's like last time I checked, there was over 600-700 people that said, hey, I want to do this. And you've met me in all these cities, and it's just such an incredible feeling. I think the coolest thing about it is it happened in Denver. It happened in Biloxi. I'm sure it's happened in Tulsa. But what happens is that, I show up and you guys all show up as well, which is super duper cool. And then we walk together, we run together, whatever it is we do. And then I pull chocks and I'm out. But what happens is you guys connect with each other, and then you're making friends amongst a new community of people who get it in person. You cannot put a price tag on that. So I would encourage you, if you're close to Philadelphia, join us in Philly on August 18th. I get an email on occasion from someone, they find out where I'm going to be, and they said, oh my goodness, that's 3 hours from here. I'm not sure I can make it. And I love that. And I'm like, yeah, it's only 12 hours for me, but I'm going to make it. So don't let the distance be an excuse. I will commit to it. We will be there August 18th. If you are near Philadelphia at all, join us there. Lastly, but not least, before we get going, thanks to a special group of you who I consider patrons. Fatdag.com, click on the Become a Patron link. It's the orange button. Click on that, and you can provide financial assistance into the show. It's as little as $1 a month. And what that really does, it gives me a framework to work on as I start building this show out. It gives me a monetary budget that I know monthly that I can bank on, and then I can start making longer term plans. So those of you who've already stepped up to do that, there's roughly about 280 of you. I'm trying to get that to 500 just because I think 500 is kind of cool. So go ahead, and I encourage you to get out to fatdag.com, click on Become a Patron, and show your support that way as well. So thank you for those of you who've done that, and certainly let's keep this thing going. The first email changed the course of the show, as you heard in the opening segment. If you didn't already, rewind it and listen. But I opened the show with, when you're out of points, stop eating points. And this email made me kind of reframe that. And I want to read it to you. It says, Dear mentor, friend, walking buddy, motivator, inspirer, and major blessing in my life, Fat Dag. I've been intending to write in for months. I listened to your podcast within 24 to 48 hours of them being made available on the podcast. I know everyone out there in listener land will agree with this statement. When I listen to your podcast while walking, I can always relate to at least one person who has written into the show, and I always intend to remember the name of the person, so when I get home, I can email you and reference that person who impacted me that particular day. Well, then by the time I listen to a few more of your emails, by the end of the show and I get home, I've completely forgotten the name. Then one day rolls into another of listening to the Fat Dag podcast, and I forget everything. However, I can safely say this with all certainty. Every single time I listen, someone seems to be speaking directly to me and my particular concern at one time or another. So a huge shout out and a thank you to everyone who takes time to write in. Fat Dag, it was a year ago when, by listening to you and your podcast and the much needed motivation they provide, I got to my goal weight for the first time in my entire life. And I'm as old as dirt. at 60 years old. So I got to now a year later, still listen to your podcast to keep me inspired, strengthened, and motivated to exercise. I'm still within 2 pounds of my goal. I'm listening to your podcast, and it's such a treat for me that I don't allow myself to listen unless I'm out pounding the pavement. So if I want to listen to your podcast, I have to be walking for exercise, and then listening to you is my pavement. I'm honored to have been featured in one of your podcasts, episode 89, in fact, and I feel extremely privileged to even know you on a first-name basis. I still say that the time is coming when you will be bigger than life and unreachable and not as easily accessible as you are today. I remember the first time I listened to your podcast, and when you said, "I believe in you," I cried, almost uncontrollably. I don't know when I'd ever heard someone say that to me, and you had just said it, and you were sincere. Though it was on your podcast, I felt you meant it for every listener. You have a gift. We are all grateful recipients of that gift. I adore everything you do and your mission, determination, the dedication, and your love for this community. However, I just want to give you my 2 cents on one little thing. During your podcast, when you say "Why upset" at the end and you're kind of growly, you shout and you bark the "stop eating points" words, it is just, well, to me, in my humble opinion, it's completely out of character for you. You are our support, our encourager, our one person in our food issue feeling fat and unlovable lives that we know loves and care for us no matter what. And your radio/podcast personality is so kind, warm, inviting, accepting, loving, that then to hear you shout at us firmly to stop eating points, it just feels really icky to me. I want you to always be that nice guy that implores us to stop eating points because you love us, not because you're scaring the crap out of us by grumbling and forcefully barking at us. Now, on to the other reason that I'm writing. This past weekend, the Weight Watchers Weekly was on self-esteem and how we view ourselves, and there was a discussion in our meeting that had me in tears. To hear some of the members in the room talk of how discouraged they were because of the number on the scale that particular day, or how they let themselves down when they've worked so hard the week prior and the scale just barely budges. Essentially, we are all so quick to allow the stupid scale to determine our successes, failure, our moods, our highs and our lows, everything. All of that led to more conversation about how terribly we sometimes see ourselves in spite of our victories in this journey. Oh, Fat Dag, it was just gut-wrenching. Personally, it hit a major sensitivity nerve in me because I, too, have based my outlook for the day on what the scale indicated that morning. It's a definition of insanity, I think. I'm reading a book by Dr. Wayne Dyer titled Wishes Fulfilled, and he says, the subconscious mind accepts as true what you feel is true. If you put the seed of failure into the subconscious and feed it with feeling that way, it will reproduce failure. If you plant the seed of disease into your subconscious mind, by feeling this way in your body, it will augment disease for you. So if you planted the seed of misery into your subconscious mind by feeling miserable, it will culminate and produce misery for you. This is why it is so all-out crucial to begin feeling in your body what you would like to manifest in your life. Think thoughts like, I am well, I am strong, I am prosperous, I am successful, I am patient, I am content. Whatever you wish to manifest, associate a feeling of love with it and impress that feeling on the universal subconscious mind. It will do the rest. God is love, and with God, all things are possible. It's wonderful. Oh, Fat Dag, thank you so much for your hard work and devotion to all of us. I love how when you read emails from your listeners, every single one of them speaks of how desperately they need you and your program and your motivation. We all believe in you and we need you. Please keep on persevering through this process, and thank you many times over for impacting our lives so tremendously. Love, sincerely, PJ. And PJ on Connect is I love God and dogs with hyphens between each of the words, and you've heard her on episode 89 as well. So PJ, thanks for your awesome email. I believe and understand everything that you said in the email. So, when I open the show, I'm not sure, honestly, if you've caught the live show or not. Man, I can't growl and bark when you're at a point, stop eating points with any sort of sincere meanness. I'm usually laughing in the middle of it, and I just try and control it because it's kind of like that one of those. Just I laugh at it, and so no, it's not me yelling at you. Hopefully, you heard the opening to this show as I kind of changed it. It said when you're at a point, oh please consider stop eating points and make a change and completely change your life and get yourself to goal. It doesn't have the same impact as when you're at a point, stop eating points. So, again, I'm holding back the laughter just to say that. So thank you so much for writing in. I know you've been intending to write for months, and I'm glad you finally took the time to continue to write it down, because this journey understands that we have to stay engaged. We have to stay mindful to the process. We have to continue to focus on what it is we're trying to do in our lives. You writing in, put yourself back in that framework to stay accountable. So I agree with you. Every single person who writes in, a huge shout out to all of you who takes the time to do it. Again, I believe it's twofold. I think you write in for yourself, and then the fact that you're willing to share it is certainly a major victory and a major gift that you're giving back to this entire community. So thank you for that. So congratulations on, again, getting to goal. We talked about this last time you were there. And so you're not old as dirt. 60 is still very young on this planet. One of my favorite books, The Noticer by Andy Andrews, talks about Colonel Sanders, who founded Kentucky Fried Chicken. Not exactly the best promotion on the show, but he founded Kentucky Fried Chicken at the age of like 70, 74 or something like that. So 60 is not young. 60 is not old at all. Keep up the amazing work with that. So think about, when you said you're listening to the show and, something always resonates with you. And I want to touch on that for just a brief moment because I understand what you're trying to say. And I kind of equate it to the horoscope, right? You wake up in the morning, and if you're a believer in horoscopes, you read your horoscope. If you visited a psychic, I never have, but if you have, so let's say your horoscope says something along the lines of, today your day will be impacted by water, and you're like, who? And so everyone reads that, and then somebody walks out the front door and, and they back out of the driveway, and all of a sudden there's a puddle of water in the driveway, and they go, oh, my day was impacted by water. That means something. Someone else could be, off to the beach and it starts raining, and they say, oh, my day was impacted by water. Someone else could have, walked to the grocery store and they walked in and there was a case of water sitting there and go, oh, my day was impacted by water. So the reason I say all that is because what happens is no one understands your journey like you understand your journey. No matter how much I share, no matter how much I tell you about my life, no matter how much I expose and we talk about, I can only give you a fraction of what's going on in my head. So even though you may think you know everything about it, I know a gazillion times more about me than anything else. And you are in the same boat. You know so much about you. So when someone says something on the show, what happens is you hear those actual words, you piece them together with the million other thoughts you have in your head, and then you manifest what it is you're looking for in that day, and you make complete sense of it. It's why we can take the same sentence and so many people can interpret it and imply it so many different ways in their life. Is because where you are in your journey today is different than where you were before. It's different than where somebody else is. And then you're taking those words and making sense of them internally in your head. It's also why I encourage you to go back and listen to the podcast from day one, because what happens again is you are now in a different frame of mind when you're listening a second time or a third time through. You may hear things differently now than you did before. And first of all, you can only retain 60% of what you heard in the first place, right? So if that's the case, then go back and listen, and you'll be surprised at what else you hear. I love your strategy. I love the fact that you only listen to the podcast when you're out walking. So when you feel like you need a fix, you certainly have to get up and go for a walk. That's great discipline. Very, very honored that you've chosen this as your reward to go out and do exercise. So thank you so much for that. So keep up the amazing work. So, I do disagree with one point in your email. The time is coming when you'll be bigger than life and unreachable. I talked about this today on the podcast with Adam, and one of the things that I said is I'm a firm believer in this community. the engagement piece is the piece that I really really enjoy the most. And with 150 some thousand of you or whatever it is right now, I certainly can't be on first name basis with all of you, and I certainly can't reach out directly and understand every single one of your everything about all of your lives. But man, if I could, that would be the goal. That's what I want more than anything. And so I looked at having a social media company helping me take over my social media, and I was like, I don't want someone to reply on my behalf, because then I'm losing the connection to the community. And so I don't know that I'm going to get to a point where I become bigger than life and unreachable, because what I built and what I'm trying to build is a community of us. And so if we get to that point, then I failed this entire community, because that's not the intent. The intent isn't to get to be so big where we can't have a conversation and we can't have a community and someone else is acting on my behalf. That is certainly not the intent. The intent is always to provide the level of engagement that we're doing, because I believe that engagement is what convinces you that I believe in you. And I believe in you because I did this and you did this, and I've seen so many people do this. I've seen people who thought for sure they couldn't do it. Man, if that isn't inspiring, I don't know what is. And so as we watch people have amazing success, we look at them and we go, they're leading a somewhat ordinary life. So as they're leading an ordinary life, they're regular people. And if regular people are able to do this, then maybe I can do it as well. So the book you are reading by Dr. Wayne Dyer, Wishes Fulfilled, sounds incredible, and I believe that as well. It's kind of that same concept of the mind believes, but whatever the mind believes, the body works to achieve. I try and feed myself with positive thoughts. If you follow me pretty intently on Connect, and then of course on Facebook, there are things I just don't like to say. I don't say that I'm struggling. I don't say that I'm having difficulty. I say there are days where I'm doing very well, and there's days where I'm trying my best. And to me, that's just a different shift in mind. You can call it whatever you want for your own journey, but for my journey, it takes the same amount of energy for me to wake up positive, to find the positive in every single scenario, and do the best that I can in every single scenario. You can take that same level of energy and you can be miserable. The more misery you bring to your life, the more misery you seek out. And so that's not what I'm aiming to do. And so, I want to read Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, because it sounds exactly like I've been trying to live my life for so long. Is that I just don't want to work all day long to be unhappy. And so, no matter what goes on in my day, I try very hard to find the positive side of every piece of it. And so I believe very firmly is whatever you believe in your head, your body works very hard to prove yourself right. So if you're going to wake up and say the day's miserable, your body's going to react to that and keep you in that miserable state. And certainly we don't want that at all. So take everything, reframe it, refocus everything, wake up happy. I said this before. I make a list every day of things that are just going right in my life, and I got a new journal that I'm tracking in right now. And one of the things it asks you to do is every day outline the big wins for the week. And man, here we are on Wednesday, and I've already got the page almost full, because it's just so much good going on. So anyway, very, very, very cool. PJ, thank you again for your email. Always pleasure to hear from you and seeing you online. Keep up the amazing work. I'm extremely proud of you. I knew you could do it. I believed you can do it. You proved yourself right. You proved me right. And you have an entire community of people now who now go, if PJ can do it, well, then I can do it. Very cool. At Noblesville, Indiana, Lindsay writes in. She's joining us live on Facebook as well. Lindsay says, "Hey, Mike, this summer has been hard for me. Hey, I've just lost the excitement and the focus that I used to have for this journey, and I don't know why. I am still struggling to get back on the wagon. Well, not on the wagon, because I haven't really fallen off. You still see me every week. I haven't given up, but I just feel like I'm hanging on with all my might while the wagon just bounces along. Well, maybe I've gotten complacent. I don't know. I mean, I do feel great. I feel stronger and healthier than I have in years, but I'm not where I want to be. So I just don't know what's up with me. I've been going through through some big changes. My husband was diagnosed with fatty liver disease a month ago, and since then he's lost 18 pounds. I've only lost 3 or 4 pounds this summer. I guess part of my problem could be that I've been on his case more than my own. I was killing it before, and I just don't know what happened. In all honesty, I didn't track that much in June or July. Yes, I know that's a huge issue. So at the end of July, I started getting myself back into the habit of tracking everything because I know if I do that, things will come together. It's basic, follow the program. So what's my deal? Another huge thing is my husband quit his desk job so that we can chase the dream of owning our own business. It's so scary. There's definitely been some stress eating. At least now it's getting tracked. I have plenty of motivation. I have a Disney trip that's still happening despite monetary changes. And then my brother's wedding is in October as well. And I want to look and feel amazing. Before all that is the Indy Ultimate and the Great Inflatable Race in September. I really want to do well for both of those events. I am so busy these days, though. Both of my boys have birthdays this month, back to school, etc. Then I had to cancel my gym membership. I love the gym, but we have to save money anywhere we can, and we even shut off the cable. Now, I know you don't have a TV, so you probably don't think it's a big deal, but it's a big game changer for me. My husband even started to bring up the cost of Weight Watchers, but hey, the look in my eyes, it stopped him dead in his tracks. I am still exercising without the membership. I'm riding my bike, I'm walking every day, etc. I just have been trying to adjust, moving some of my mojo to the business, having to tell myself I am capable of making this happen. The same mojo I had been using to lose the weight, but I cannot have both. Mike, I need a hand again. Tell me what I need to do to get my mojo back. See you Tuesday, Lindsay. Lindsay, here we are, right? You and I, we have this thing going, and it's so awesome to see you every week in the meeting room on Tuesday. Thank you for continuing to bring a ray of sunshine to that group. You know that. What you're doing in this journey is incredible. You are, you're killing it. You absolutely are killing it. And your email to me, I'm going to be hard on you because I know you a little bit more personally than I know the rest of the folks listening to the podcast. Your email to me does not share the same level of success that I see day in and day out from you. In your email, what I see is you're going, you're second guessing yourself maybe. You're wondering if you could do that. You're at that verge where you have now made significant progress. You look amazing. I can see the smile coming in from around the corner. You're absolutely on fire with this program. And so what I want you to do is I want you to focus on that. So you're at that brink of the journey where you have had amazing success. You now need to enter what we are now going to call unfamiliar territory. You're heading to a place where maybe you've never been as an adult and it's foreign to you. And so it is easier to stay in that mode of what you know to be comfortable. And so I don't want you to focus on that. I don't want you to use your trip in October as a goal. I don't want you to use your brother's wedding as a goal. I don't want you to use the Indy Ultimate as a goal. I don't want you to use the Great Inflatable Race as a goal. Sure, those are neat little motivators, right? Those are just things that are going to come in your life. Those are 4 things that are going to happen over the course of the next 50, 60, 70 years of your life. You need to dig a little deeper than those 4 things and find out why you are doing this. It's not Disney. It's not your brother's wedding. It's not the Indy Ultimate. It's because you deserve every little bit of this. Every single gain in self-esteem and self-confidence, every single gain that you're gaining, it completely changes who you are in a sense where I can see it as you come in the room. You're just a bundle of energy that really I look forward to watching you sit in the meeting room. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down your why. I know you're going to say you did. I want you to write down your why. There's only 2 things you can do in this journey to get back the motivation to win this thing. You got to figure out why you're doing this, and it's not Disney. It's not your wedding or your brother's wedding coming up. It's why are you doing this? Dig out those questions, those 5 questions. I need to see if I have them handy. It's the 5 questions that I ask you to say. You write these down and figure out what it is you're trying to do this. And so as you're trying to do it, ask yourself, what's the hardest thing you've ever done in your life? Ask yourself, who's responsible for your success? Ask yourself if you truly believe you can do this. Because what's going to happen as you now are at that turning point in your journey where you have to make a decision, do I continue to eat healthy? Do I continue to work out more? Do I continue to get it done? or do I just revert back to my old habits? If you have written down why you're doing this, and so if you write it down now, even if you didn't capture before, rewrite it down now, because as you continue to have success, there's only one way to get this feeling back, and that's to either live it or read about it. I don't want you to relive the misery that brought you in here in the first place. I want you to only be able to read about it down the road. So get it written down, get your focus dialed in. I completely agree with you in the sense where, starting a new business, it's scary. Starting the new business and doing all the major things you have shifting in your life, it certainly does take focus. And so with only so much focus that we have to give, I think you're just obviously now struggling as to prioritize you in your existing life. Take care of you. Put you as the priority. Make sure you are taking care of number one. As you take care of you, the business will take care of itself. As you take care of you, the trips will come and go. As you take care of you, the kids will start taking care of themselves. Things just magically get better when you put you first. That's what I'm going to say. And so I'm going to tell you this when you come in next week as well. And I'm hoping you get there early and we have this conversation maybe a little more heart to heart in person, but you're doing amazing work. You clearly know that. You're just an absolute rock star as you're out here. So keep up the amazing work. Get this done. Track everything. You even put it in your email, right? It said, in all honesty, I didn't track that much in June or July. Well, that's not how the program works, right? So if you're trying to lose weight and you want to continue and you want to push through, then you absolutely have to start tracking, get serious with that. That's what completely changed my life, and it taught me how to take care of myself by being so diligent and dedicated to the tracker. So, Lindsay, we will see you next week for sure. Out of Cincinnati, Nicole writes in next. She says, "Hi, Mike. Hey, I hit lifetime yesterday after losing 154 pounds. Hi, Mike. I hit lifetime yesterday after losing 154 pounds. My original final goal was to settle at 199. I thought that losing that much was all that I was capable of. As an online-only member, the turning point in my journey came in July of 2017 when I found your podcast. Even with a great support system at home and a strong why, learning your story and hearing that you believed in me made all the difference in realizing I could set a healthy goal weight and achieve it. In 439 days, I reached my goal and I hit lifetime, going from 316 pounds down to 162 pounds. This is the healthiest weight I have been in 20 years. I have new goals which start today. I will attend my meeting and weigh in weekly. I will start strength training to increase some of the muscle that was lost along with the fat. I will lose a few more pounds to get to my personal goal weight of 158. I will continue to check in with my fellow wingmen on the Wise Wingman Facebook group, also known as the most positive place on the planet. I will reach back and I'll tell my story to help others as you have done for me. I believe these habits will help keep me where I've been and where I fought so hard to be. I truly can't thank you enough for all that you have done for me and for this whole community." Nicole, which is Nicole.Duncan on Connect out of Cincinnati. Nicole, congratulations. Goal and lifetime from 316 down to 162, online only. Incredible work. Wow, 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 wow. Awesome. 154 pounds. What a celebration that is. You've got to feel amazing, right? You absolutely have to have that internal pride of, I did this. I pushed through. I got to the point where there were days that it was hard and you pushed through and you made it happen. I love that you've now converted yourself and said, I need to set new goals, which start today, not wasting any time. I will attend my weekly meetings. I'll weigh in weekly. I'll start strength training to increase some of the muscle that you lost along with the fat. I think that happens to a lot of us as we get so diligent in the tracker that we probably do lose some muscle mass as we get going. But you now are found a way to add that back in. Keep up the amazing work. Your last paragraph absolutely warms my heart in the sense where it says you will continue to check in with the Wise Wingman Facebook group. You will also be a mentor reaching back for other people. And I believe that to be true in this journey. I think what we have to understand is that Again, I believe if you're listening to this podcast, I believe in you. And I don't just say that flippantly. I believe if you are listening to this podcast right now, you're capable of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. And so the reason I believe that is because Nicole's proven it, Lindsay's proven it, every single person who's written in, PJ's proven it. This can be done. You can do this. And so as you now reach back and share your story, the importance of that's why I ask you to also write in the email, is there are people listening right now that just don't believe it. And so they sign up because they see other people have success. They just don't believe that they're capable of that success early on. And so what they need more than anything is they need to see regular people just like us doing it, getting it done, living great, happy, healthy lives. When they see that, they want that. And then they start learning that, well, if you can do it, I can do it. And so that's why I just ask you to reach, really just to continue to tell your story, reach back. And what you're really telling someone is that I believe in you. And that's the key to all this, is I believe you can do this. And so I don't believe it's going to be perfect. I never said I believe you can perfectly do this. I've never said that. I never said I believe you can do this without any sort of effort. I believe you can do this without any sort of flaws. I've never said anything like that. I simply said I believe in you. In you. You have the ability to get this done. You have the ability to do it. You are in charge of this journey. You've proven that. And regular people are out there just doing it day in and day out. I'll tell you something I learned even just recently in the past couple of days as I was continuing to scroll through Connect. I continue to follow folks on Twitter, and I even catch a couple of people on Facebook as well. I am, this is going to come across a little differently. Not necessarily amazed is not the right term, but I am impressed with the amount of people I see daily who've lost significant amount of weight, who hit goal. Every single day, somewhere in America is hitting their goal. Every single day, somewhere across the planet, that's their day where they've made goal. Now, I certainly don't have the statistics on this, but based on what I see in my meeting room and the other meeting rooms, based on the number of people who are doing this, I believe every single day, somewhere on this planet, someone has hit their goal. Man, if that doesn't tell you it's doable, then I don't know what will. And that's the reason I believe in you, because I follow so many people, and I watch so many different conversations that I see daily someone's doing this. This isn't rocket science. It's not something you have to overthink. It's just something you have to do. And so, Nicole, thank you for doing it. Thank you for sharing your story. Thanks for being a part of this amazing community. Folks, if you want to join in, go to facebook.com/WhysWingman, I believe, or go to WhysWingman.com. Actually, it'll take you directly into our Facebook group. It is the most supported place on the planet. I believe that as well. Nicole, thanks again for your email. Audrey writes in next. She says, Dear Fat Dag, it is time that I write in my story. I am currently a lifetimer, 10 pounds away from goal. As with most of us on this journey, however, there is always more to our story. My weight issues are a result of a perfect storm of nature and nurture. I grew up with the worst possible environment of soda, prepackaged foods, little to no fresh fruits and vegetables, and an abundance of junk food with a particular emphasis on sweets. In addition to the abundance of unhealthy food, it was an overall perspective that food, it was the answer to every emotion from pain and joy and everything in between. Since I was active, I did not have a weight problem until my 20s, but I definitely had food issues. I also had a mother who was obsessed with being 122 pounds and a dad that affectionately called my two obese sisters short round. He left me alone because I was the thin one. When I was in my 20s, my husband and I moved away from the family and I was depressed. So I ate sweets. I went from 120 to 140 pounds. Since the only number in my head was 122 pounds, I knew I had to get the weight off. I was able to snap out of it. I was able to exercise, take over the counter diet pills, and lose the weight. I thought I was cured. My dad had a triple bypass in 1994, and I was determined not to have the heart disease and be overweight and diabetic like my sisters. The weight didn't stay off long, and I gained and lost the same 15 to 20 pounds for several years. I managed to have 2 babies and lose most of the weight due to exercise and a slowly improving diet, but I still lost and I gained about the same 20 pounds, and I had to practically starve myself to lose it. I was never able to maintain it. My mom had a triple bypass in 2002. I joined Weight Watchers in 2003. I lost the weight again. I made it to Lifetime, and then I never went to another meeting. I thought I had it beat. I did not understand maintenance. I went back again several times with no success. I'm an introvert, and the meetings, they're really hard for me. But this time, I actually had changed my diet because of my mom and dad's heart history. I was eating lean proteins, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, whole grains, no fried food or soda, and I had greatly reduced the sweets. I had exercised since my 20s, but keeping the weight off was still a struggle. When I tried Weight Watchers again, it just didn't work. I had a leader that looked at my food choices and she couldn't understand why I wasn't losing weight either. So I went to a cardiologist and he ran genetic tests. I tested positive for the APOE4/4 gene. My doctor said that he had never met an APOE4/4 that was under 300 pounds. I told him that nobody ever believed that I was exercising, eating well and couldn't lose weight. He said, "I believe you." I have never felt so validated. My doctor told me that my only chance of losing weight, lowering my cholesterol, and avoiding heart disease and Alzheimer's disease was to eliminate all animal products from my diet. That was August 5th, 2005. I will never forget it. I went vegan for 6 years and I added fish and eggs later. My cholesterol and other numbers improved, but my weight did not. Then my dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and he passed away in 2013 after a 7-year battle. My hopelessness and depression, along with caring for 2 teenagers, carried my weight to 174 pounds in 2016. When I sent my youngest off to college, I knew it was the time to finally take care of myself. I joined Weight Watchers online in January of 2017. It was absolutely perfect for an introvert like me. At this point, I understood that I would have to be a Weight Watcher for life. I understood that I just couldn't do it on my own. I stuck to the program. I lost 30 pounds in 6 months with hard work and focus. This time it was again the perfect storm. The online program and my diet and my mindset were all in sync for me to lose the weight confidently. By this point, my mind had shifted completely. I understood that you will have good days and bad days. I understood that it was a journey. I understood that the scale would fluctuate constantly and food would not fix emotional issues. It was truly my time. I lost 30 pounds and I stepped into an early maintenance mode. I wanted to see if I could maintain 144 to 146 pound range for a little while before I went down to 138, my current goal weight. That was a year ago. I'm happy to say that I'm at 147 pounds today. That is a really big success for me. Most people think it's crazy that I intentionally stopped my weight loss 10 pounds before goal, but I needed to see if this was real. I needed to see if I could maintain my weight. I needed to try out my skills before I made it to goal. I have been down this road too many times. I'll be 50 years old on March 6, 2019, and I want to be at goal and know that I can maintain it. I have an amazing husband and 2 grown children, and I don't want them to sit in a waiting room worrying about whether I'm going to come out of a triple bypass alive. I also don't want them to see me descend into the abyss of Alzheimer's disease. My journey has had many hills and valleys, but I'm still on the path. I'm trying to go back into the meeting room and lose the last 10 pounds and regain my lifetime status. And I hope to write back to you in March with that goal met. Thanks for all of your encouragement to get the job done. You truly have made a difference in my journey. Sincerely, Audrey. It's Simmons Audrey on Connect. Audrey, how cool is this? What an amazing story you have. And so I just want to just take a moment to go through this entire thing and tell you that, man, I'm proud of you. You understand parts of this journey that takes so long for so many people to understand. And the piece that you finally figured out is absolutely pure gold. You stuck to the program. You lost 30 pounds in 6 months with hard work and focus. It was that shift in mindset. It was that you understood that there are going to be good days and bad days, but you could not quit. You had to do this forever, and that it is a journey. The scale is, of course, the scale is going to fluctuate. It's going to do that. And food certainly has no cure for the emotional journey. So, intentionally stopping your journey is you living your life. And as you live your life, what's going to happen is you're going to make sure that the success that you've had will continue to be successful. That level of success is you saying, I understand there's a much bigger story going out there. By you understanding that and you saying, I want to know if I can maintain this on my own, to me, that's what this is all about. What this is all about is you taking a program, using the program to your benefit, you finding what works for you, you making sure that the things that do work for you are long-term sustainable. You've proven that. As you continue to eat healthy by your definition, as you continue to work out more and exercise more by your definition, the body will respond, and you continue to stay plugged in with your doctor, and you find out you find a balance that all of those things combined get you exactly where you want to be. My heart completely breaks for you in your journey, and so it looks like so much of your life has been this constant. You have been either the caregiver or you've been the one that had to provide the emotional support or take the brunt of other people's emotional distress. You for so long you've shouldered that. I'm giving you permission to break free from that. I'm giving you permission to take care of you. And you started doing that, and when you sent the kids off to school, you finally understood that piece. I'm giving you one last piece of permission to say, you know what? This is my time. Who cares what other people think about your journey? They don't know where you're at. They certainly don't know where you're coming from. They have no idea where you're headed. They get a snapshot in time of your journey. I want to document this, and I see this all the time. It's this judgment piece that we place so much validation on other people's thoughts, and it's just not fair to us to shoulder that. And so what happens in so much of this journey is if you saw two people standing side by side, and one person was overweight and one person was not, the judgmental side of our brain would almost always say, oh, that person's overweight, but you have no idea where that person's come from. That person could be down 150 pounds and still working towards another 50 towards goal, and they are an incredible success story. The person who's not overweight could be on the uptick of an unhealthy life, and you just have no idea what's going on in that journey. So I want you to certainly, as other people offer their opinions on your journey, who cares what they think in that regard? Whether they think you're crazy or not, it's irrelevant. If you've proven to yourself you can do this, and you've started to prove to yourself that you can do this, that's why I said I believe in you, because I know you have the capability of completely changing your life. You don't have to intentionally starve yourself. You don't have to just sit there and go, I don't get this. You don't have to struggle with it. You own it. You understand that it's a journey, just like you said, and you find ways to get it done. Now, when it comes to maintenance, I think one of the things that I want to just re-explain is for everyone listening is maintenance is really this time where you figure out the pieces that work for you. You figure out the balance that you're willing to live with, the things that you're willing to accept and not accept. And so certainly the Weight Watcher program gives you that framework to add daily points back into your life, and you figure out how many of those work for you. I think you could take it one step beyond that. I think what you've done intentionally is to find out is you want to prove to yourself. You doubted yourself just enough because for so long you've been this caregiver and never really placed the priority on you. Now as you place the priority and the focus back on you, you just need a little bit of validation to say, I can do this. And so I want you to truly understand. I want you to understand this. It's very important. I want you to understand that you can do this. I believe in it. I believe you can do it. Whether you've been down this road too many times, it doesn't matter. You're down this road again. You hit lifetime. Once you hit lifetime, you're always going to be lifetime. There's lifetime at goal. There's lifetime not at goal. None of that matters either. I want you to write back in March when you've hit your goal, when you are celebrating amazing success. And what I want to hear in that email, more than I don't necessarily want to hear that you hit goal. I think that's very cool. I think that's very important. I don't necessarily want to hear that you did it. I don't want to hear what size clothes you're wearing. I don't want to hear how much activity you're getting, even though I think all that stuff is important. What I want to hear is how proud of you that you are. That's all I want to hear. I want your email when you write in tomorrow and say, Mike, I'm proud of me. And if that's all you send, then I'll know you get it. And certainly if you want to share beyond that, that was cool, and I'll certainly put it on the air. But I want you to understand more than anything is that you need to own this journey as yours. Be proud of yourself for even attempting it, right? I mean, that's the first victory. And I love it when new people come into my meeting room, and one of the first things I say is I truly welcome them. The hardest thing you can do is say, I want to start this journey. And so you've made it even past that. So I'm very proud of you for starting the journey. I'm very proud of you for walking the journey. I'm proud of you for restarting it. I'm proud of you all around. And every single person listening right now, I'm proud of you. You've done amazing work. By tuning into the podcast, I don't care where you are in your journey. By tuning in, what you are telling me is that wherever you are is not where you're staying. That's it. Dan writes in on Facebook, says, I need to own this. I can own this. I will own this. I think that's a good way to end the show and celebrate. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com. Click on the Wise Advice podcast link to send in your celebrations, your comments, send in your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. Man, I really want you to email in your celebrations. You understand this, right? You understand the way this program works. I say this over and over again, and I talked to my interview this morning is what's the number one tip you'd give to a new podcaster? And I think most podcasters struggle with what we call content. And so if you ask me to produce a show and you wanted me day in and day out to talk about something, I got nothing. I don't have any framework that's going to relate to you. I need to take your story and turn that into positivity, reframe your focus, celebrate with you, laugh with you, cry with you, whatever it is. That's the content piece of this show. The benefit is by you sharing it, it gets it off your chest and kind of gives you that freedom. But I just want you to email in those celebrations, because that is what keeps this entire thing going. It keeps us all focused, and so that we all know that we can get done. I really want you to be proud of what you're doing. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember, losing weight, getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goals and go after it. I wish you good focus. Sorry, Instagram, we got cut off in the middle there. Woo! We must have gone late tonight. We're at 67 minutes. How did that show get so long? What time is it? It's 10:36. Man, you guys talk too much. I don't know what's going on. I had a 20-minute show planned, and you guys just chat away. Next thing we know, we're an hour and a half. Dan, thank you for that. May, good evening to you. Donna, thank you. So let me go save this, because I don't want to lose that one. Let me save this, and I'll be right back. I always have this fear that if I don't save it right away, I'll have a power outage or something. Yeah, I always have this fear, like I said, that I just have a power outage or something in the middle of doing this and be like, ah. So, Lindsay, are you still on? I want to know if you were or not. Let me see real quick. I was trying to look for this and I didn't have it prepped properly, but where is it? Shoot. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry. Here we go. Yay, Lindsay's here. So this is what I meant to pull this up while I was reading your email. And I'm going to experiment with this a little bit because I think it's important. The 5 questions I ask May. I got a haircut today too. Sorry, squirrel. Hair color, haircut. This is the new me for this week. Anyway, Lindsay, so, and all of you, I think the number one thing we struggle with is it goes back to that why. You have to know why you're doing this. And that means so many things to so many different people. What I know about this process is the why is powerful. The why is what brings you into the room. And you can't say things like, I want to be healthy. I want to be here for my kids. Those are important. Those are valuable. But what I say to people when they say, I say, why are you here? And they say, well, I want to be healthy. And I said, why did you join tonight? And they said, well, I want to be healthy. I said, well, then why didn't you join a month ago? You didn't want to be healthy a month ago? Well, I did. Well, I want to be here for my kids. You didn't want to be here for your kids a month ago? Why did you join today? Why? And you don't necessarily need to answer it. But the reason that is important is because when you walk into on day one, when you walk into that meeting room, or when you finally decide you're going to commit to this, generally speaking, that is at the point where you're emotionally done. You're drained. You've had it. And you say, you know what? I am so mad that I'm willing to go pay money for someone to walk with me to do this. You've tried things on your own. They may or may not have worked, but you finally got to the point where you said, damn it, I'm going to do this. And so when you finally get that emotional energy built up enough to do it, you walk in there and you're ready. And so what happens is you're on fire, you're motivated, you're tearing up, you kill it. A month or two goes by, or whatever the timeline is, and you feel better, right? Because you now start having, even if you haven't lost any weight, you're eating better, which emotionally changes the game for you. And so even if the scale is exactly the same, you say, I feel better, right? I mean, every single person, when I hand them a 5-pound charm, I say, how do you, do you feel better? I say, and they go, yeah, I feel great. With 5 pounds, they feel better. And so here's the deal. If you walk into the meeting on day one so pissed off that you're going to do this, and then you start 5 pounds later, start feeling better, you quickly forget what misery felt like. There's only one way to revisit that I approve. There's only one way to revisit that feeling, and that's to read about it. The other way is to relive it. And what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to have to go relive it. So I want you to capture that energy instantly when you feel it, so that when you start having success and you start maybe getting complacent, you have something to read that reminds you of how miserable you were when you started. And then you go, yeah, I don't want to relive that. I actually want to make a change. And so I developed these 5 questions. I haven't really perfected it by any stretch, but I ask you to ask yourself, what are you expecting to get out of this journey? What is it that you're expecting? Are you expecting to be, and set yourself real expectations? Are you expecting to be healthy? Or expecting to be, down to an ideal BMI? Are you expecting just to lower your blood pressure? What is it that you're expecting to get out of this journey? You need to write down in detail what it is you're expecting to get out of this. After you've written that out, I want you to say, I've done this before and I love it when I do that. So in about 2 seconds, I'm going to ask you a question. Get your fingers on your keyboard and you're going to type yes or no. I'm going to ask you a question. You have 2 shots, yes or no. Get ready, because when I ask you the question, I want you to answer it instantly. I don't want you to think about it. I'm going to ask you a question and I'm going to say, answer it. At that point, I want you to tell me yes or no. Do you believe you can do this? Yes or no? Do you believe you can do this? If you didn't type yes instantly, then let me believe in you up until the point where you can confidently type yes. If you typed yes, then use that energy. You know you can do it. It was an instant thought from you. It wasn't this, I had to think, well, I'm not sure. If you typed yes instantly, then go do it. If you didn't type yes, that's fine. It's totally fine if you didn't, because I typed yes for you. I know you can do this. So if I know you can do it, lean on me right now as you're wondering if you can do it. I'm confident you can do this. Then I want you to say, okay, what's in your way? What is stopping you from doing this? I don't know. Right? What's in your way? What are the barriers that you have to get through? It could be emotional, it could be physical, but I want you to label them, and I want you to outline them, and I want you to, as you start breaking through those barriers, I want you to be proud of yourself for knocking these things out. There are things in your way that don't need to be in your way. The next question I want you to ask yourself is what's the hardest thing you've ever had to do in your life? What's the hardest, in your entire life up to this point, what's the most difficult thing you ever had to do? That's very painful when you think of that. Some of the most painful, I get a lot of email of some very painful things. There's things that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, right? And so there are things that are just absolutely heart-wrenching, but you survived it. You made it through that. You know, you found some support, you found some love, you found a community, you found something to get past that most difficult thing in your life. So when you've now figured this out, that the hardest thing in your life to do, you did, and you made it through the other side, do you think tracking a little bit of food is going to be more difficult than that? I don't know. I tend not to think so. I think some of the most difficult things I've read, man, I would trade tracking for that any day. Right? If you could trade some of the things I just read on Facebook, I don't want to, you guys wrote them and you can read them. I don't want to share them out loud, but they're incredibly painful. And so if I could offer you to take that pain away from you and say, all you got to do is track some food, all you got to do is stop eating points when you're out of points, all you got to do is choose healthier food, you can have that, or you can do that most difficult, painful thing again. And you made it through that. You can make it through this. And then lastly, the question I really want you to understand is who is responsible for your success? It's not me, right? I love you. I'm with you. I'm walking with you. I believe in you. I'm not responsible. There's nothing I can do. The best I can do is tell you it's worth it. That's it. That's the best I can do. The best I can tell you is I can tell you it's possible. I can tell you it's worth it. I can't do it for you. Man, I can't do it for you. You have to do this. It's your responsibility. And so when you own that and you say, I believe I can do this, man, it's just doable. So that's my soapbox. Whew. I don't know. Every once in a while, Lindsay, you got me fired up. You know what? Damn you. You know why? I mean, I'm picking on Lindsay right now. But Lindsay represents all of you. And I say that with true love and heart is, I mean, I know her personally. And so that's what helps. And so there's a real personal connection here. And I see some amazing success in her. And I tell you, the hardest part for me is week after week and episode after episode, people just disappear. And that's the hardest thing for me because, and I tell you that I believe in you. I don't say that lightly. I truly believe in you. And then so when you stop coming to the meeting or when you stop having success or whatever it is, I kind of feel like, okay, I couldn't quite convince them that I believed in them. And that's the hardest thing for me. And so Lindsay, where you're at in this journey right now is I get it. I mean, I've gone through this 5 times, so I'm not saying anything that doesn't ring true internally. I didn't believe in myself for a long time. And so as I watch other people have success, I think, you know what? That person's not any better than me. That person's not any better than me. They're awesome people, which is really, really cool. But they're not any better than me. There's nothing special about them that's not any more special than me. So if they can do it, I can do it. And so here you are at this point in the journey where you really have to make a decision of are you going to completely change your life? Are you responsible for your success? What are you expecting to get from this point forward? So Anyway, so what Lindsay represents to me at this point is all the people who right now say, I want to do this, and just go do it. And no, it's not easy. I promise you, it's not easy. I ask this question as well to every single person who is on when they make goal or lifetime. I ask them, and I even ask them when even when they lose 5 pounds. So I ask this question, and I say to someone who just made goal, someone who just made lifetime, I said, so the journey it took you to get to here, were you 100% perfect along the way? Did you do everything right from day one to today to get to goal? Never, ever has someone said, yes, I was 100% perfect. And then I say, so wait. So you weren't perfect? You had some days where maybe you didn't track? You had some days where maybe you ate too much? But wait. So you had some bad days, as we classify them. I don't believe it's such a thing, but you had some days that you weren't perfect, and you still made it to goal? Wait. You had some days that you weren't perfect, and you still lost 5 pounds? Do you think? I asked this too. Do you think that is there anything that you have done through your weight loss journey that you cannot repeat? Is there anything that you've eaten that you could never eat again? That may be true because it maybe tasted terrible. But the point is everything you've done to this point. It wasn't like you didn't pull out a magic rabbit out of a hat. You just did it. So keep doing that. So anyway, Dan is right. Oh, Facebook is killing me. Dan says we get a second show tonight. So that's all I got this time. You guys completely emotionally spent me. I love it. But man, I tell you, I love this community. I love what we represent. I love what we bring to the table. I love how we rally behind each other. I love how we get it done. And I just love every single one of you. Thank you so much for being here. So on that note, let's wrap this up, right? Who's responsible for your success? You, right? Own it. And so the piece I will add to this is that the common theme that I'm starting to see a lot is so many of us are taking care of everything in our lives but us. I may get on another soapbox, I'm sorry. But so many people put everything ahead of you. I'm reading a book right now. It's not my favorite book, I'll tell you that right now. And so I apologize to the author because I'm sure it's an amazing book, but I'm picking up enough pieces of it. But anyway, the whole concept is that you have to set some limits in your life where you say, I'm taking care of me and I'm the priority. And so that's what I really, really want you to do, is that it goes back to who's responsible for your success. And if you're responsible for it, then you need to own it and put yourself first. So anyway, Heather, you're welcome. Heather, that's the perfect answer. Heather says, thanks, Mike. I need you to believe in me because I'm a little shaky on believing me. That's a perfect answer. There is nothing wrong with you saying right now, I don't believe I can do it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Zilch. So what happens is that let me believe in you. Karen says, Heather, we got your back. So let Karen believe in you. Heather, all I'm asking you to do is do you believe there's anything you've done that you can't repeat? Keep repeating that. You will get to a point where you slowly start to believe it. You may not be there now, and it's okay if you're not there now. That's why I'm here. That's why this community exists. We will believe in you up until the point where you start believing it yourself. So trust me on this. Just continue to walk with us. We got this. So on that note, it's 11 o'clock. Thank you all for being here. We'll sign off YouTube first, just the way it is. YouTube, thank you for being here. Thanks for the incredible support, 84 minutes and counting. Whew, what a crazy night. So I wish you, this journey has nothing to do with luck. It's everything to do with focus. And so I wish you good focus, and I believe in you, totally. Okay. So that's the